Michael Jordan is a man who needs no introduction. Considered by many to be the GOAT, MJ's career is legendary, but there's a lot more to his airness that casual NBA fans may not know about. Today, we're diving into those stories, the craziest moments both on and off the court that are so outrageous that they could only come from the man himself. Of course, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos if you're new. Even though Jordan played for the Wizards at the tail end of his career, he'll always be remembered for his time as a Chicago Bull. But did you know he was nearly a Knick? Fresh off his 4th title in Chicago, MJ entered the '96 offseason as a free agent, and the Brooklyn-born MJ had his eyes set on a homecoming. MJ was friends with then Knick Charles Oakley, but more importantly, he was interested in signing a 1-year balloon contract like the Knicks had given Patrick Ewing, who was the highest paid player the year before with $18 million. Rumor has it Knicks offered Jordan a record-smashing 1-year $25 million contract. The Bulls were reportedly given a 24-hour window to counter, or MJ would be wearing blue and orange. Well, as we know, they anteed up in a big way, signing him to a monstrous $30 million deal, which would be worth over $56 million today with inflation. While this is as big as a free agent as the Knicks ever whiffed on, it's hard to say it was a bad move for MJ or the Bulls, as they won 2 more back-to-back titles. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know MJ loves to gamble. His late-night blackjack sesh in Atlantic City the night before an Eastern Conference Finals game is well known, but that's truly just the tip of the iceberg. MJ would gamble on pretty much anything, and when I say anything, I mean anything. While appearing on the Brilliant Idiots podcast, former teammate Jay Williams said that MJ would consistently make $20,000 bets on games of rock, paper, scissors. He also added, "And don't get yourself down in the dice game. Don't be in the corner and let some dude keep fading you out and all of a sudden you're down $100,000. And he's like, "Yo, bet it back. Rock, paper, scissors for $100,000. But it's not just games of chance that Jordan loves to bet on. MJ also famously loves golf. And surprise, surprise, he's pretty damn good at it too. That might explain why, according to Charles Barkley, he's been known to bet 100 grand on a round, or in some insane instances, 300,000 on a single putt. But the craziest part is that when Chuck told this story on the Dan Patrick Show, he referred to this time period as his playing days. So that's 300K in the late 80s, early 90s, which is about 680 grand today. Somehow betting 300 grand on a putt isn't even the wildest thing MJ's done on a golf course. That title might just belong to trash-talking an active US president. When a major pro sports team wins a championship, it's customary for the team to visit the White House. And since Jordan won 3 consecutive titles twice, he spent a lot of time in the area. In particular, during his first three-peat, he became friendly with then-President Bill Clinton. Clinton is also a golfer who's played with several PGA pros, but it's safe to say his round with MJ was unlike any other before or since. When the two men were teeing off, Clinton tried to play from the white tees, which is where normal non-professional golfers tend to play from. But according to journalist Paul Newport, that's just not how MJ rolls. He said Jordan coaxed him from the white tees to the championship tees by saying, "You're gonna play from that little girl's tee?" Mind you, Clinton was president at the time. Clinton hadn't even swung a club yet before MJ began trash-talking. MJ's barbs must have also brought out the best in the president, as he challenged him to break 100 from the tips, and he did. Even though MJ loved betting huge sums of money, the thing he loved above all else was winning. And if he could guarantee a win and earn a little money on top of that, that was about as good as it gets. Unfortunately for Scottie Pippen, MJ found a way to do just that. According to ESPN's Amin El-Hassan, while at home games, Jordan used to bet Scottie Pippen on pre-recorded Jumbotron spectacle games. During a timeout, a bunch of different colored animated bulls would race, but unbeknownst to Scottie, Jordan asked the Bulls operations staff which bull would win every night. So every home game for nearly an entire season, Jordan would snag a crisp 100 off his running mate. Thankfully, these weren't his golf bets, but it just goes to show how much MJ loved to win and that he was a bit of a prankster too. MJ's greatness truly has no limits, and if you don't believe us, just ask Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Before injuries derailed Kidd-Gilchrist's career, he was a highly touted NBA prospect, taken with the 2nd overall pick in the 2012 draft ahead of future superstars Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal. Because MJ owned the team that drafted Kid Gilchrist, the two spent a fair amount of time together and even once played a game of one-on-one. The then 19-year-old, who would go on to make the NBA All-Rookie second team, told an incredible story about their bout during an NBC interview. Kid Gilchrist said, "He did play me one-on-one one time, and it was hard for me. I lost to a 50-year-old guy. That's my boss though, he's the best player to play the game." Kid Gilchrist didn't reveal the score, but assured the interview that he did not let MJ win. Of course, this wasn't the first time a retired MJ showed a young star how it was done. It was a lesson first taught to OJ Mayo at Jordan's 2006 flight school. Most of the attendees at this camp were college freshmen, but 17-year-old OJ Mayo, who was highly regarded at the time, was invited as a junior in high school. He must have been feeling himself because he reportedly called out the 43-year-old MJ, who wasted no time showing the kid who's boss. MJ demanded to clear the court and called for the cameras before putting on a show. While Jordan diced Mayo up, hitting the iconic fadeaway in his face, he chirped at him things like, "You better scream for mama." He also told him, "Hey young fella, let me tell you something, you may be the best high school player in the world, but I'm the greatest ever. Don't you ever disrespect a great like that." While Jordan proved he was still great in retirement, you might not remember just how good he was before he even made the league. While a member of the 1984 Olympic USA team, Jordan, coming off his junior year at UNC, emerged as a focal point of the team. A team that, mind you, featured future Hall of Famers and Dream Teamers Patrick Ewing and Chris Mullin. Before the games even started, the squad wanted to get in some reps in against established NBA players to better prepare for the competition, so they set up 8 exhibition games featuring various NBA talents. Team USA wasn't expected to win. After all, some of the names they'd be playing against included all-time greats like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Walton, James Worthy, Robert Parrish, and Clyde Drexler. You wouldn't know it, this 21-year-old college kid won all 8 games. To be clear, it wasn't against a roster of all those above names. The opposing teams varied by game, but that's still incredibly impressive. Whether or not these reps mattered, we'll never know, but Team USA dominated the competition with another perfect 8-0 run during the Olympics. The closest game they had was a 78-67 win over West Germany. MJ led the team in scoring, averaging 17.1 points while also averaging 3 boards, 2 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. Chris Mullins and Patrick Ewing averaged 11.6 and 11 points per game, respectively. As one would expect after such an iconic run, Jordan was heavily sought after when the 1992 Olympics came around. But Jordan wasn't exactly dying to get back out there. He needed to be convinced. Magic Johnson was the first to step up, telling his airness that it's been on his bucket list to play with you and Larry Bird. "We're gonna have fun being with each other because we had never really hung out like that." Jordan agreed, but he had one more condition. He got the final say on the roster. While this hasn't been 100% confirmed, it's heavily implied in Jack McCallum's book Dream Team by USA Basketball Committee member Rod Thorne. Thorne suggested that no one would be on the team if Jordan didn't want him on the team. This would explain why the legendary Isaiah Thomas, who was perfectly qualified but famously MJ's rival, didn't make the cut. Supposedly, MJ even provided the committee a list of handwritten names for the team. Whether or not you believe MJ is the GOAT, his impact on the game is undeniable, and as you can see, he's a true one of one. Michael approached every aspect of his life with the same insatiable thirst to be the best, but always remembered to have fun while doing it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and of course subscribe for more videos if you're new.